We're glad you joined us today to learn a little bit about Freemasonry. We are Pride of Mount Pisgah, number 135, a lodge of the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Texas. The brethren have gathered after lodge to say a few words about Freemasonry to you. Worshipful Master.
To me, Freemasonry is a time-honored organization. It's about fellowshipping, brotherhood. It's a never-ending never-ending ongoing life venture that I've had the privilege to share with my fellow brethren here. Since I joined Pride of Mount Pisgah back in 2003, it has been a great journey for me. I must say, it's one of the premier lodges of the state, and me having my military background, I've had the opportunity to be in numerous lodges throughout the country and overseas, and I must say Pride of Mount Pisgah is one of the lodges that I hold near and dear to myself. We're all about knowledge, we're all about growing together and becoming better men, becoming better brothers, better men, and being the example for our family and our friends.
What Masonry means to me, it's a system where you must acknowledge God, where you must have a love for mankind, and respect for, nature and the people around you. Now, Masonry can take you in a lot of different directions, but for me, that's the core. It's a first acknowledgement of God, and acknowledgement of loving mankind, and charity, and helping one another out. And there's many different lessons in Masonry where these three ideals or tenets are taught and retaught multiple times.
Okay, what Masonry means to me is, it may sound generic, but it means brotherhood. I can honestly say that everybody that you see in this semicircle, I consider them brothers. They consider me a brother. If I need something, they would help me, and vice versa. Why Mount Pisgah in particular is basically one of the brothers that I work with. I observed him, and he didn't even know I was observing him, and I just noticed the way that he carried himself, and I said, I like the way this guy carries himself, and he's strictly business. He's a nice guy, friendly, but when it came down to do work, he did great work at work, that's what did it for me. I asked him, and he brought me in and introduced me to other brothers who were pretty much just like him. So that's why I chose Mount Pisgah, and that's what I think about Masonry.
What Masonry means to me, quite simply, just for me, it means being able to serve. Being able to serve each other. It's like what he mentioned, it's a fellowship. Gives you an opportunity to give back and become part of something bigger than yourself. So that's what Masonry means to me. And why Mount Pisgah? I was looking for a lodge. I can't remember how long I've been in Dallas, but I got Pastor Anderson's phone number. Called him, and after a couple of minutes, made me feel very, very welcome right at home, and that's became my home ever since. So that's why Mount Pisgah.
What Masonry means to me is it is a very broad brotherhood that's pretty much scattered across the world. You can never, I won't say never, but you can always find a brother if you're ever in their need. That bond always be there. The socializing, the charity that we actually do, the fundraisers, all of that is very high excellence. Now, why I chose Mount Pisgah, it was actually brought to me from a friend that is actually a brother, pretty much close as a family member in a different state because I'm new to Texas, that actually pointed me in this direction and actually got me into Mount Pisgah itself.
The reason I joined Masonry is we are, to me, I believe we live in a world that's full of darkness, a world that is that lacks morality, that lacks love, that lacks brotherhood, and Masonry has provided to me an outlet where I can find individuals who stand on the same moral code that I was raised on. I think it's few and far in between that you find individuals who have good tenets, who believe in being trustworthy and honorable. And so for me, I was attracted to Masonry at the time when I was a teenager. A friend of mine, his dad was a Mason, and I would see him going to his meetings, and he was one of the only men that actually was in the household with his family. So I knew from that age and from the time that I became a Mason that's what we are. We stand up for each other, we stand up for our families, and we stand up for our community. Mount Pisgah is a lodge that is known for that throughout our history. And we also are a lodge that believes in studying and learning. I'm constantly learning information in this lodge from some of the brothers who have been Masons for 20 years, 30 years. I've learned information from newly raised brothers that came through my line with me. So I believe that this is something for any individual who is looking for trustworthy friends and brothers and are looking for a bond.
What Masonry means to me goes back to my childhood. I spent a bunch of time with my maternal grandfather, who was a Mason, but I didn't see him as a Mason. My recognition of him being a Mason came once a month. When he left the house, that was the time I couldn't go with him. And it left an impression on me, and I soon recognized, because of a certain hat he took with him and a certain way he dressed, that, oh, I can't ride with Grandpa today, or for this trip, because he's going to the lodge meeting. At our church was a lodge hall, fellowship hall, which at the top floor was the lodge hall, and was always told you can't go up there. So as a kid, the curiosity intrigued me. I saw a cornerstone laying at my church when we built a new facility, and the ceremony thoroughly impressed me at a very young age. So in 1986, second Monday of the month, while in college at Southern University, I was traversing back home to Mississippi. I was raised to be a Mason, and it came through the recommendation of my grandfather to the leader of that lodge, the worshipful master of that lodge, which was the chairman of my deacon board in my church. And from there, my on the record Masonry began. But I believe I was conceived a Mason at first sight by observing my grandfather and unknowingly some deacons at my church. So I took Masonry seriously because of what those men meant to me. And what I came to know were the same types of characteristics of the men that I met as Masons. And it all goes back to the fundamental principles that Masonry teaches. And no matter what religion we believe in, we all believe that within the Holy Bible, there's some teachings in there that makes good men better men. The character of the men in Masonry should be impeccable and unquestionable. And as one of the brothers alluded to, when you see a Mason, you should recognize something different about him, and it should be of honor and great character and integrity. We are obligated through our loyalty to make sure that we can trust one another as well as with our families. And so our widows and orphans are not alone when our travel here on earth is gone. So Masonry means a lot to me. Why Mount Pisgah? When I came to Texas after being a Mason in Mississippi, I met a man here, one sitting next to me, who recommended I come visit his lodge at the time. And the man that was over that lodge impressed me so, as those other men in my life had impressed me, not just in Masonry. But this man was one of those men that made a great impression on me just by being in his presence, and I knew that's where I was supposed to be. And several years later, we had an opportunity to start a lodge in this community. And so we chartered this Mount Pisgah Lodge 642, and it soon became in a merger prior to Mount Pisgah Lodge number 135. And no greater pleasure have I had to see this come into fruition and become the distinguished lodge and brothers that are here. And I'm honored to be a Mason, and even more, a pride of Mount Pisgah, Prince Hall Mason.
We teach men how to be better men. And I've always believed that you are who you hang out with. So that if I hang out with good, honest, uprighteous people, it will rub off on me. If I hang out with bad people, it will rub off on me. So if you want to add purpose and meaning to your life, Freemasonry can do that for you. And the one that can do it best is the Teaching Lodge of Pride of Mount Pisgah, number 135.
All right. What Masonry means to me is that it is a lifelong journey to improve myself. The Bible speaks that no man is perfect. There was only one perfect. So therefore, we must be constantly working on ourselves. If your belief is in God, then you know that He is always giving you what you need when you need it. He is showing you your rights, and He's also showing you your wrongs. But Masonry gives you an opportunity to better yourself, because the teachings that is done in Freemasonry come strictly from the Holy Bible or from the Holy Writ of your particular religious affiliation. And be it the Bible or any other holy book, there's one thing that's in common with them, and that is for you to be morally upright, because one day we all must stand before God. Now, I always used to teach as the master that the one thing that Masonry should do for you, if you really study it should draw you closer to God. Because from your study of Freemasonry, you must go to the Holy Writ in order to truly, and I mean truly, understand what this organization is about. It's not only about helping the community, but it's helping yourself and helping your neighbor. And the fellowship with people that you normally may not have fellowship with, because Freemasonry accepts anybody as long as they're good people. You have the opportunity, if you're a Christian, to intermingle with Muslims or Islam. You may have a Buddhist, you may have Jews. So it gives you an opportunity to intermingle with people that you normally or may not normally come in contact with. And the one thing about it is, because religion and politics are not allowed as a discussion in Lodge Hall, you have an opportunity to learn about one another, learn about different religions, and not have an argument about it. So that is truly a good thing. But again, I say, as you study Masonry, your life should improve, not only for yourself, but for your family, for your neighbors, for your community, for the world. Now, Pride of Mount Pisgah to me is a unique lodge.
We'll see.
I am one of the founders of Mount Pisgah, and it was my thought that for one, that we should be one of the most knowledgeable lodges within the jurisdiction, but not only in the jurisdiction, wherever we travel. I wanted the brothers to be knowledgeable about the fraternity that they belong to. Not only understanding the ritualistic work, but how to use it in their day-to-day life. Because that is what the teaching should be about. Not just what does this emblem mean or this working tool mean, but how can I take those things and apply it to my life and make me a better person so that I can make those around me better. So Mount Pisgah, again, is a unique lodge. We don't play argument. If there is a problem among any one of us, all lodge business ceases, because we need to fix this relationship. We are all brothers in here. We like to laugh, we like to joke, we like to hang out together. But I can't do that if I got an argument with one of my brothers. That creates tension. So, it is said that there is no contention among Masons. So the best way to fix that is when you have a problem, is go to one another as men and fix the problem. No, you may not get everything you want out of the conversation. That person may not get everything they want out of the conversation. But you have a common middle ground where you are both happy. And from that, you can continue to be friends. So I say to you, if you want to become a Mason, come here. Come to Pride of Mount Pisgah number 135. To me, there is no better lodge, and I repeat, no better lodge within the jurisdiction of Texas.
Yep.
So, if you have interest, use the contact information that is provided on this website. Give us a call. Let us know that you're interested. Believe me, when you get here, you'll see how unique we truly are. Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by today with us. If you'd like to pursue this further, there is a place on the website with a contact form. We'd be glad to sit down and talk to you in person, face to face. Until such time, may God hold you in the palm of His hand. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.